No matter what the financial market does, there's one category of spending that shows no signs of slowing down, and that's IT. When the market takes a downturn, the dollars spent on IT and the strategy behind it become even more critical. Unfortunately, many companies aren't getting the results they could be from that spend. So says our guest expert today, Jacques Jean, CEO and founder of TechFides, an IT strategic firm based in Dallas, Texas. Jacques, welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
So you left a long career in some very high-profile global enterprises where you led international IT organizations to start your own consulting company. What do you see as the biggest IT strategy issue you're seeing today?
So, Angelique, this is what's going on right now. A lot of companies are spending a vast amount of money in digitization, starting from their goals of transformation. And the problem is, when you look at around the corporations, their IT strategy is not aligned with the enterprise strategy. So therefore, there's misalignment all across the board. Investment, they're not seeing the return on their investment because there's no synchronizations between what they spent versus what they want to get back. So CEOs and CFOs, and as well as CIOs, can clearly relate to this. What we're trying to do is how can we get the ship, that big ship, to move in one direction. Once that happens, is really looking at the functions, the employees, the business units, and then try to understand all of the issues that they're going through. Once we understand that, the ship would be on the same direction.
So I think most of us would have a tendency to assume that all parts of a generally successful organization are working toward common goals, working in a common direction. Is that actually not the case?
It's not the case. You'll be amazed to see what's going on in some of the company outside because they are completely misaligned. Because now you have people within the corporations that make the decisions to just go and then try to grab their specific IT needs, right? And then once they go and then try to get their IT needs, you find out that the CFO is trying to get this, but most of the time, those applications are not aligned with the overall business. And therefore, that leads them to complete chaos.
It sounds like you're talking a lot about organizations that have a lot of untapped potential right inside their organization. How do you help organizations identify themselves that they are the ones who have that potential?
It's really easy because a lot of organizations that you see, they have untapped potentials. And those potentials, the key things that we do is really try to help them understand, rationalize some of the portfolio that they have within their company. And then once we understand that, both trying to look at their missions and as well as the goals, some of the goals they're trying to achieve, and then we bring those in and then to find out, okay, how can we help them achieve that X potentials? Because some of those companies are very, very good at what they do. Sometimes it's because of the product, sometimes it's because of the service that they provide, but at the same time, on the back end, IT is not the backbone. And we need to bring those in to make sure that they align and then to deliver what's expected of the company.
Yeah, I mean, certainly just because you're good at a product or service does not mean you're very good at your IT strategy.
That is true. So could you walk us through like a specific issue that you've seen in the market?
Absolutely. So when you think about it, you go to any company, you have all of the big functions, you have IT, supply chain, R&D, and then one thing that you see is the CFO would have a problem, right? And then the CFO called his team and then say, hey, I want you to go and then try to solve XYZ problem. So now the problem that the CFO or the finance team is trying to solve, the question that we need to understand is how does the data going to align with the other functions, right? Does the data is secure? Does the data is safe? How is the data going to work with supply chain? How is the data going to work with R&D? How is the data going to work for marketing? So all of those things, cognitions we're trying to bring together, and you find out that it's completely not on the same alignment with what the overall enterprise strategy need to be. And when we do those type of things, we bring them, really what we're trying to do is all of the silo and the stopover pipeline that each one of those groups are using, we bring them together to ensure that we bring them on the same path.
Alignment is something that has been very elusive for a lot of organizations. I know TechFides has really committed itself, your firm, to helping organizations finally be able to get that alignment. How have you been able to do that?
So it's really marvelous. What happened is our team has an extensive background. We've spent over two centuries of combined experience with our team. We have CIOs, CHROs, we have supply chain executive, we have program and project managers, we have business relationship managers. We have done projects all over the world. We're talking about 35 countries and implementing mega applications. So with the background that we have, starting from individual contributors to all the way to the C-suite, this really gave us an acumen of really coming to any organizations and then try to do whatever we do best. The good thing is when you look at our background, we're not regular consultants. Our job is to sit down with those functions and then understand specifically what is expected of them. And then after that, for us to deliver the solutions that required of us to provide.
So achieving that alignment does seem to be a lofty goal. And so it sounds like your team, though, has been able to deliver results where other teams may not have been able to do that.
Yeah, and it's simple, right? And the reason for that is with all of the experience that we had in the corporate world, sitting with all of those functions, we understand the process as far as how they're going through. And what we do is not acting really like going as a consultant to go and then try to compile a bunch of PowerPoints. We've been in their shoes. We work with all of the engineers on the plant, and then our job is to just go and then try to identify exactly your needs and then how we can accelerate the delivery of your expectations. That's all we do.
So, but really bringing a best-in-class at a senior decision-maker level that are thinking and operating much more strategically than your standard consultants.
That's right. And the other thing that what we have done is when you think about all of the tools that we bring to the table, for example, our team, most of us are black belt certified, right? We bring those acumen, we have agile, all of those processes that we have, PMI certified, and we bring all of these together. That give us a powerful solutions where we can go and then create an impact in any organizations that we work with.
Yeah, I think the other thing that really stood out to me is just the high level of your team. So many consulting firms really rely on so many junior level staff that just haven't had the road experience in the trenches that your team has had. Before we go, I have to ask you this question. What is the meaning behind the name TechFides?
I got that a lot. So FIDES means truth. So in every solutions that we deliver to our clients, we make sure that we speak the truth with the client. And what does that mean? Is whenever we see something that is not aligned, we want to make sure that we bring that in front of the client so the client can understand the potential impact that's going to have in his organization. Once they have that, and then now we can have the green light or laissez-faire to just go and then execute the solutions. But the truth is, what we bring to the table is ability for us to speak our mind, and then for the client to understand that we're trying to work together and then to deliver what's required of us.
That's incredible. The other thing it really reminds me of is just the importance of alignment and the technology solution being aligned to create that one source of truth inside the organization as well.
That's exactly. The one thing that I would add to that is most of the time people are thinking about technology, But technology is just a tool, right? So in order for technology to work, you need to embed a strategy, to bring a strategy that really understands your roadmap, your processes. Those are the things that we bring to the table to clearly assess, evaluate, and then to find out, okay, how this is going to align with your mission. And then once we understand that, this is going to be easy for you to quickly ripple those benefits that we have worked for you throughout any technology it was.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for this discussion, Jacques. This has been very, very enlightening. For our audience, if you find yourself at a crossroads and unsure how to move your organization forward, TechFides has the map. You can check it out on their website and contact their service solution executives at techfides.com or by calling directly at 469-631-0751. Jacques, again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.